Kyle Larson.
As Kyle Larson has been at this racetrack so many times.
Larson ran orbit around the entire field, led a space invasion. He came back, he was still 5 seconds ahead of everybody, and he still won after spinning Martin Truex Jr. out in the pits. So the race started with Slick Willie B leading the field to green for the first time this season. You had Christopher Bell starting alongside him, you had Chase Elliott behind him, and you had Bubba's replacement starting up in fourth. It only took 27 laps for Kyle Larson to take the lead. And on lap 30, Bubba's replacement spun off of turn 2, brushed the rear of the car, and was never actually seen again. Slick Willie B took the lead in the pits, but Kyle Larson showed why he's Kyle Larson and took the lead straight away and drove away to win stage 1. So Tyler Reddick showed why he's that Tokyo drifter. He almost spun in turn 2, but he didn't crash. But everyone so excited, kind of like when Danica was at Las Vegas.
Ford is thinking about going across the gate. This thing's a sequential gear shifter.
Yeah, she actually did that. It's not a problem. Everyone loves racing in their own way. So everybody pitted. Larson came in first. He left first. Byron left in second. And Tyler Reddick almost never left because he had a problem with his jack. But he was able to keep going. So there were no cautions for the next 30 laps. So we actually got to see some good, hard, high-speed, close-quartered action. So when everybody pitted, Cindric came in, Logano came in, everyone came in. Tyler Reddick came in too hard, overshot his pit stall, backed up, which was his second problem on pit road. I'm actually going to start keeping track of this video on how many times himself and his team has fucked up in the pits, because it seemed to be quite a bit. Denny Hamlin came into the pits the same time the 77 did, and they almost crashed. Another incident in the pits. Doing that, Hamlin almost crashed into Kyle Larson, the dominant car of the day. That actually could have been very interesting. It never happened though, much like many wrecks this race. Austin Dillon's jack almost broke as well. But given everything that had happened, that was really minor. Don't know if that'll even be in the video. No, it will. It happened. Austin Dillon's jack broke. He came back for a solid finish, so it really didn't do anything to him. So Noah Gragson got a speeding penalty, and that was the only pit road penalty of the day. So nothing else happened for the next 30 laps, and this was another week where we had a phenomenal race. After that month of stillness, of boredom, of nothing happening, finally we got to see the on-track action that these playoffs deserve. But all that racing was actually happening for seconds, so, Kyle Larson kind of made it boring for the lead. I mean, it's his job.
That's his job.
But we want to see some excitement for the win. So on lap 150, Kyle Larson put Chase Briscoe a lap down. This is important. At lap 160, Chase Briscoe crashed into the wall. He wouldn't finish the race. He then tried to go to the garage after stopping in his pit stall. The team radioed in, if we go to the garage, our race is over. So Chase Briscoe stopped in the pits and tried to go back to his stop. A few moments later, he went back to the garage. So his day was done. So the caution came out, and Young Money Larson took home the stage win. On lap 181, Denny Hamlin showed he was that Tokyo drifter and scraped the back of his car on the wall. On lap 211, Ryan Blaney decided he would take up a career in ballet, pirouetted from the access road all the way towards turns 1 and 2. He didn't make it because he wasn't very good. He shall also continue his career as a stock car driver. So that brought out the caution, and that was actually where the race peaked. Once the caution came out, 14 guys were able to pit, the others took the wave around, and that put Denny Hamlin in contention to advance. This is important because before this, he was actually on the outside looking in. Now, he was on the inside looking out. He came out of the pits behind Truex and Chastain. He made an aggressive move into turn 1 and 2, came out with the lead. He was finally in a shot for the win. It worked. Except Truex did hella bits and managed to regain the lead. And everybody thought we would finally see the 20th winner of this season. The caution came out for Tyler Reddick, who showed he was not that Tokyo drifter. No, not for this one. Reddick hit very hard on the inside wall. Everybody came into the pits to take whatever kind of tyres they wanted. Truex led them in with Kyle Larson on his rear bumper. This is important because this is the part where Kyle Larson turned Martin Truex Jr. Truex Jr. decided he would be taking a career up in ballet, but realised he was shocking at it, so he will stay as a stock car driver. Kyle Larson came out with the lead and stormed off into the distance. Denny Hamlin, who started that final run only a handful of points to the good, now sits at the end of that race with -5 points, behind William Byron, who shouldn't even be in. Denny is now living up to his nickname, Denny Choklin, and I am living in misery. I'm going to get the hat, actually. Is that all in shot? That's all in shot. I can just see the life just fading away from me. So Kyle Larson won the race and advanced the 5 car into the Championship 4 for the owner's points, who I actually don't know anybody who gives a shit. I've not seen one person this whole year, actually, since the playoffs have started, I've not seen one person since the playoffs inception in 2014, I was 12, but the point still stands, that has talked about the Owners' Championship until today. Because, and I have a theory, in Formula 1 it's a big deal because everybody has 2 cars. Every constructor has 2 cars. So you build the biggest shitbox you can and you drive it. NASCAR don't have that. You have teams with 4 cars, 2 cars, 3 cars, you name it. Everybody knows that the Owners' Championship will be with the Championship 4 cars. I mean, if one of those 3, this is confusing me. Because there's 4 slots in the Owners' Championship. But there's also 4 slots in the drivers. See, this is why we don't have it. Why we shouldn't have it. It's too confusing to understand. Just let the drivers race. They should have separate teams championships for 4 cars. They should have teams championships for 3 cars, 2 cars, then 1 car. That would make it exciting. Then it'd be like the World Endurance Championship, where you have multiple classes on the same track. Now it all makes sense. I should be in charge of NASCAR.
Is that how little that we really had to talk about this past week, Elliot? I mean, Homestead was a fun race, but nothing really happened controversial. Not much needed discussing. So I guess it's on to what to expect. So, without further ado, roll the tape.
X gon' give it to you. Fuck, wait for you to get it on your own. X gon' deliver to you. Knock, knock, open up the door, it's real. With the non-stop pop out and stainless steel. Go hard, getting busy with it. I got such a good heart that I make a motherfucker want.
Elliot, I don't know what you want me to do here. I love Martinsville. This track is fantastic. From Jeff Gordon getting his final win to Richard Petty's 15 wins. And on top of that, John Andretti scoring one more for the 43 at this track. This place has a lot of history. It's celebrating its 75th year. They're doing a whole big shebang. And because of what this new car does here, I can't be bothered in your terms. This is going to be painful. I want it to be good. By every metric, I want this to be a fantastic Martinsville, like the ones of yesteryear, where you could almost say, yeah, Martinsville's comparable to Bristol. Not anymore. This is going to be rough, man. I'm hurting with this.
So now we move on to everybody's Now we move on to my favourite part of the video, the picks. Because I'm winning. A commanding victory of 5 spots. Still 5 better than Byron. Denny Hamlin won me this week's picks. And I've lost count who's leading, so I'm going to say it's me. And I want to keep this win going. But we're in Martinsville. It's a qualifying race this year. I don't like that. But one guy that I noticed was able to pass in Martinsville was the one of Ross Chastain. He started all the way in the back in 27th and he came home to finish 5th. I don't know why anyone would bet against him. He's not afraid to move someone, whilst that might come to hurt him in Phoenix, but he is good enough to get himself there. He will be in the championship 4. And Dan doesn't agree with me, so he gets to make his own pick.
Yeah, so on to my pick for this week. So this is going to be a more difficult one to try to even begin to wrap my mind around. But when all else fails, fall back on experience. And my money's going to be on Kevin Harvick in the number 4 car. Look, this guy has raced here 42 times in his entire career.
Closer clinches the deal. 2 weeks.
This entire track that knows it better than anybody, it's going to be him. He's been in this since 2001, and Martinsville's been a staple here twice for just about every year he's been here. He knows what he's doing more than anybody else, especially in this new car. I honestly see him as getting another one. He's done it here before, back in 2011. There's not a lot of stronger picks I can personally see getting it done more than Kevin Harvick. He's not my favorite driver out there, not by a mile, but I think we're about to see a little bit more vintage Happy Harvick in a track that's forcing you to follow single file. You may try to give somebody the chrome horn a little bit, and I'm in favor of it.
So that's it for this week's video. And Dan has had the best time because I invited him.
Man, oh man, it's just gone by so fast, Elliot, hasn't it? Just 2 more races to go when the season's over. Everyone watching at home, thank you so much. We really love you folks just for watching and just giving your opinions. Love to hear from you and read what you got to say every single week. Let us know in the comments below how wrong I am and how right he is. If you got a better pick for Martinsville, please let us know and throw the stats right in our faces. Give me a follow on Twitter at CupDatesDan. I've been so much more active there talking NASCAR with a lot of folks, and it's just been an absolute blast. And I would love to start talking NASCAR with you watching at home. Just as always, let me know how wrong I am, how right he is. Give us a like and a follow and subscribe if you can. Would love, love, love to see it. Everyone else, man, y'all have a good night now.
So remember to check out the Outcast Dirt Nationals that I'll be picking up later on tonight. Make sure you like and subscribe because it helps us out massively. And I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.
Welcome to my home. Bienvenido.